Hello, my friend. I've been getting a lot of requests to do more skincare-based videos, skincare advice videos, how to get you not to buy crap when you go to shop for skincare. So that is what we're gonna be talking about today. We're gonna be talking about 5 common skincare mistakes and how to very, very, very easily fix them. So if you are interested in that, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. I think there's a tendency in our society today to just kind of buy what the hot new product is, what our favorite influencer recommended, what has really pretty packaging, what had really good marketing. There's kind of an impulsivity to buying right now. But with skincare, you really can't just wing it because all of our skin is different and we all have different needs. And if you have very oily skin and you accidentally buy a product that's intentionally meant for people with dry skin, but it's not marketed that way, you could end up in a heap load of strange things happening on your face. Skincare can be so much fun, but if we end up buying the wrong products, it can cause so many problems on our face. So let's go ahead and jump into the first mistake people commonly make with their skincare. The first one has to do with makeup removal. There are still many brands advertising how amazing their makeup wipes are. If you are still using makeup wipes, I would strongly encourage you to stop that practice. There are lots of other things that you can do. Now, why would I tell you to stop using makeup wipes? Number one is the pulling on your face. As you get older, that pulling accumulates over time and can lead to more aging effects. Also, makeup wipes, not so good for the environment. They build up in our systems, and of course you would never, ever, ever want to flush a makeup wipe. Never, ever, please don't ever do that. What I would suggest instead is to use an oil-based cleanser, either some kind of liquid oil-based or a cleansing balm, followed by either a cream cleanser or other kind of liquid cleanser that is not oil-based. That will take off your makeup and then give you a nice cleanse of your skin afterward. If you really, really do enjoy using like a makeup wipe and you feel like you won't be able to remove your makeup with an oil-based cleanser and you really want something to rub on, I would definitely recommend getting a microfiber towel such as the makeup eraser. Works really great for removing makeup, and then follow that up with either a cream cleanser or a regular liquid cleanser if that works for you. But makeup wipes, I do not believe, in my opinion, should be in anybody's routine. The second one is using chemical exfoliators incorrectly, meaning that you're not using it in the most effective way for your skin. And a lot of that has to do with people not really understanding the difference between different chemical exfoliators and not really understanding necessarily how they work. So the first thing you need to know is that there are AHAs and BHAs. They work better for different people. They're both great, but depending on your skin type, one may work better for you than the other. So I personally use AHAs. I have normal to dry skin, mostly pretty normal skin. AHAs are going to chemically exfoliate your skin. It is going to break up the dead skin cells that are on the top layer of your skin and kind of help your skin to slough them off so you can have a nice radiant glow underneath. They're also great for anti-aging purposes and just overall just a wonderful ingredient. The problem comes when people go too intense with their AHAs too quickly. If you've never used a chemical exfoliator before, I highly recommend starting with a 3% to 5% level of AHA. A product I really love that does that is the Pixi Glow Tonic. I believe it is a 5% glycolic acid. It's a really nice starter product, but if you have sensitive skin, you may want to look for something even less intense than that. And then bump up your use, your percentage, if you feel like you need it. More isn't necessarily better when it comes to skincare. So you have to listen to your skin and what your skin needs. If you feel like you're getting a really nice effect with a lower intensity AHA, stay with a lower intensity AHA. You don't necessarily need to bump it up higher. Where I've kind of stopped, where I'm really happy, is like a 12 to 15% AHA 2 to 3 times a week. The other thing you need to know about both AHAs and BHAs is you definitely want to use a sunscreen while you're using them. It doesn't really matter when you apply your chemical exfoliator, whether you apply it in the morning, apply it in the evening, you still need to wear sunscreen because you've got that nice fresh layer of skin that's exposed to the sun, and it makes you more susceptible to sun damage. So it doesn't matter whether you used it that day, the day before that, you should still be using sunscreen every single day. I mean, we should be using sunscreen every day no matter what, but especially if you're using a chemical exfoliator, really, really important. BHAs are also fantastic for the skin, but they are especially good for oily and acne-prone skin. And the reason why is they help to, like I was saying with the AHAs, they kind of break up the dead skin cells, but what the BHAs do really well is break up the dead skin cells inside your pores. They just really clean all of that out for you, and that way your pores don't get clogged and you don't get those whiteheads and blackheads. At least that's what it's supposed to do. Salicylic acid is the most common form of BHA that you're going to see in skincare. If you have experience with AHAs or BHAs, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and your experiences down in the comments down below. One more word of warning about AHAs and BHAs and any skincare in general. You may feel a little bit of tingling, especially if you're using a more intense AHA, specifically glycolic acid. You may feel some tingling, but if you feel your face burning in any way, if you feel your face itching in any way, that is not normal. That is when you should be washing it off. Now that we've talked about chemical exfoliators, let's talk a little bit about physical exfoliators. Physical exfoliators are like almost like kind of like sandpaper. It's supposed to kind of slough off the dead skin by giving you a, just kind of rubbing it off. The problem with physical exfoliators is some of them are really, really harsh. I tried a product recently that had pumice stone and you're supposed to be putting it on your face. And as I'm using it, I could just feel it scratching my skin. If it feels like a scratch in your skin, is probably scratching your skin. You probably shouldn't be using it. Things like pumice and walnut shell and things like that are way too harsh for the skin. My favorite physical exfoliator is something called jojoba esters. And what it feels like is, if you remember before they were banned, microbeads, it feels a lot like that. Like if you imagine what a lotion would feel like if it was really solidified, that's what a jojoba ester feels like on your face. So much more gentle, and it should give you that physical exfoliation that you're looking for without scratching and damaging your skin. Hyaluronic acid is starting to come up as maybe not so good of an ingredient. And part of the reason why is because people aren't using it correctly. Because there is a correct way to use humectants like hyaluronic acid. What they do is they pull moisture into your skin. But the problem is if you don't have any moisture in your air, you don't have any moisture on your skin, what it's gonna do, it's gonna pull moisture from the lower layers of your skin, and it's not going to be good. It's actually going to dry your skin out. So here are some tips. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the product also has a high level of water in it, preferably the first ingredient being water. If you don't see that, you can splash your face with a little bit of water, dry it off gently with a towel, and then apply your product with hyaluronic acid. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you top it with some kind of occlusive, something that's going to hold that moisture into your skin and not let it evaporate into the air. Most foundations have occlusives in them. Most moisturizers have occlusives in them. They're mostly oils, butters, waxes, things like that. And if you're using a foundation, if you're using a moisturizer afterward, you should be just fine with that. I will link a resource down below that does have a list of occlusives for you to look out for. Silicones are a great example of an occlusive that'll hold everything in there for you. Shea butter, things like that. The last thing I want to mention about hyaluronic acid is that you can overdo it with hyaluronic acid. There's really no reason to use more than one product that has a high level of humectants in it. Just one is fine. Maybe it's in your serum, maybe it's in your moisturizer, but you don't need intense humectants in every single product that you use.
Hello, Editing Jen here. I do want to add some information here for you about hyaluronic acid. There is some research coming to light that hyaluronic acid isn't as good as we may have thought it was, and this information was brought to me after I filmed this video, but I definitely wanted to include it for you. It's an article that was sent to me by Emmy Award-winning makeup artist Kevin James Bennett. It was written by a freelance writer named Jessica DeFino, and it was posted to Harper's Bazaar. But the weird thing is that they removed it, and we don't know why they removed it, whether it was because of the information contained wasn't good, or maybe because it doesn't look so good for skincare brands that use hyaluronic acid. We just don't know, but I do want to share it with you because even though she's a freelance writer and not a skincare professional, she does cite and quote professionals throughout the piece. So here is a quick summary of the claims. First is that due to the hyaluronic acid's high molecular weight in its natural state, it can't seep down to the lower layers of the skin to truly hydrate your skin. And even when there is a low molecular weight particle added to help with penetration, they say that it still can't make it past the epidermis. So that's a thing. They also mentioned that some hyaluronic acid is sourced from animals. So if you're vegan, you want to check with the brand to make sure you know how it was sourced. And then apparently there's a lot of buzz on the internet with people claiming that hyaluronic acid is the source of their redness and dryness. And they claim that these Instagrammers and influencers have had good results with eliminating hyaluronic acid from their routines. Then the article claims that the hyaluronic acid with the low molecular weight actually may increase inflammation. Then she talks about a cellular biologist named Wendy Oriole who started her own skincare brand and says that splashing water on the face, like I talked about in this video, or topping with a water-based moisturizer, she says might encourage the water to absorb on top of the skin rather than within it, because if it can't seep down, it's just going to collect on the top. And it suggests that if moisture sits on top of the skin too long, it may increase bacteria. Now, the article says a lot more, so I'm going to link it down below. It's a version from the Wayback Machine because, again, it doesn't exist on the internet anymore. It'll be down there for your perusal, but in short, if you find that your skin does not react well to hyaluronic acid, you might want to consider removing it from your routine. Talk to your doctor as always. All right, now on to the rest of the video.
And the last one I wanted to mention is you don't necessarily need 10 products in order to round out your skincare routine. The K-Beauty 10-step skincare routine made everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people go out and buy a ton of products. You don't necessarily need all of that. Let's not buy crap. Let's not buy things that we don't need. If you enjoy a 10-step beauty routine, I'm not gonna say you should stop. If it's working for you, I'm definitely not saying you should stop. But if you don't feel like you need that, don't feel like you need that, if you know what I'm saying. What I've been doing for my skincare routine in the evening is I do my double cleanse. I use a chemical exfoliator followed by some kind of serum and a moisturizer, and I'm done. In the morning, I splash my face with a little bit of water. Sometimes I'll use some kind of vitamin C serum, something like that, and a moisturizer, and I'm done. And I find that that works very, very well for my skin. So don't buy into the hype, don't buy into the marketing, don't buy products that you don't necessarily need. The other thing you wanna make sure you do is if you're introducing a new product into your routine, don't introduce more than one product at a time, because if you do have a reaction or if that product's interacting poorly with some of your other products, there's no way to know if you introduce too many products at the same time. Another thing to keep in mind when we're talking about multiple steps within a skincare routine is for most products, you want to give them time to seep into the skin before you apply the next product. The serum you apply after the toner, most of the time you can probably apply that pretty quickly, but when you use a serum, give it a few minutes to seep into your skin. When you're using a chemical exfoliator, give it a few minutes to seep into your skin before you apply your next product, and you may notice an increase in benefits. I do have a bonus tip for you, but honestly, I think this is the most important tip, is if you're having problems with your skincare, if you're not sure about a product that you may want to try, talk to a skincare professional about your personal skincare needs to help you decide whether this product is going to be right for you or not. No one can know your personal skin like you do, like your doctor does, so always talk to your doctor if you have any questions about anything specific for your skin or specific products and whether they'll be right for you or not. At this point, my friend, it is your turn in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would love to know your thoughts on the tips that I gave you today. Do you have any additional tips that you'd like to share with the collective brain? And if you're reading down there and somebody's tip helps you, give them a thumbs up, give them a little thank you comment, tell them how much you appreciate it. Little things in this world do go a long way. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube to share it with other people. And if you'd like to hang out a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a video for you to watch right down there, and you can click on that and watch another video. But if you've got to go, you got stuff to do, it's no problem at all. Thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did. Mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very